Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Accent Training Podcast. My name is Pat. I'm your personal American accent coach. And today, I want to tell you about a shortcut when it comes to learning the American accent. This shortcut will not solve all of your problems. It's not going to teach you all of the American accent, but it will save you a lot of time and possibly money. Now, this shortcut that I'm going to show you is not used in all different American accents. In fact, it's more of a northern United States or East Coast kind of sound. However, it is a great pronunciation shortcut which will simplify and clarify American-sounding vowels for you. You see, it's all about the ah sound. This is the big secret that I'm talking about today. Ah. This sound is heard with a few different spellings when Americans pronounce it. Today we're going to look at 5 different spellings of the ah sound. These spellings include the letters A, O, and E. That's right, all 3 of these letters, A, O, and E, can make the ah sound. We are going to do a brief overview of each of these spellings so that we can take a deeper dive in the weeks to come. Now, the first ah that I'd like to talk about with you is the lax A, also known as the short A. This ah sound is what we hear when A is followed by R or when A comes after a W. Not all A's after R's or before W's are lax A sounds. This is just a general guideline. Like I said, we'll get into more detail later down the road. But let's consider a few words here. Listen closely to the lax A's in these words. Far, arm, hard, large, party. These are all lax A words. And as I said, A following a W, so a W-A combination, is often going to come out with a lax A. Like water, watch, want, wash. Now notice that when I'm pronouncing all of these, I'm stretching out the vowel sound crystal clearly. I don't just give it a short, hard. Water, party. But you hear my voice carrying out in each and every one. Ah. This is something that my buddy Josh mentioned in a recent interview that we had, saying that you need to project your vowels clearly to do all the work while your consonants are light and brief. You see, releasing your vowels strong and flowing allows for maximum clarity every single time. So, repeat a few ah phrases after me to see this for yourself. Starting with large enough. Watch out. Water bottle. A clear and consistent ah sound will maximize your communication here. Now, as I said, that sound, ah, can also be found with the short O. This ah sound is clear in short O words like problem, bottle, off, opportunity. And as I said, as a shortcut for vowel sound excellence, this is the same sound that we make with the short A. Ah. So repeat a couple more phrases back to me now. Each phrase is going to have a short O and a lax A sound. Each short O and lax A will stretch out in the vowel nice and clearly. Let's hear what you got. Starting with crosswalk. Godfather. Gone for a walk. Not talking. Notice we're getting the exact same sounds between the O's and the A's, and we have maximum clarity when we pronounce each of these. How about another use of the ah sound in the American accent? The next one I'd like to bring your attention to is the spelling of AU and AW. This is the AU and AW digraph, and it also makes the sound ah in the American accent. Our shortcut here just became even more effective. AU and AW spelling is what we find with the words auto, cot, la, pause. Now you see, a lot of people overthink this one. Folks see a U or a W and try to move their lips with the sound to pronounce every letter clearly. And my friend, I have to say, you're working too hard. Eliminate that U or W and pronounce only ah sound in most words with this spelling. In the meantime, repeat back to me a handful of short phrases using this sound to start to see some changes here. Starting with caused a problem. Auto shop. Not lawful. Caught off guard. Once again, these words have different spellings, but they all contain the same ah sound. And that, my friend, is yet another addition to our shortcut. Our next spelling is with the A plus L combination, when followed by a consonant or at the end of a word. When an American pronounces words with an A and then an L, we get the sound ow, ow. This is an ah sound that quickly goes into an L. A few words that we see that do this are all, always, almost, foul. Each and every one getting a crystal clear ah sound, and then a dark L. The difficulty that I usually find with students here is that they pronounce this with the vowel much too short to say anything clearly. As you know, we do not pronounce vowels lightly in English. We pronounce them clearly with a flowing and strong voice. So repeat a few phrases back to me now, and let's practice the ah sound in each of these A plus L words. Starting with almost off. All I got. Call the shots. Ta latte. Now, again, this is only when A is followed by L before a consonant or ending a word. We don't do the same thing if we have A, L, and then a vowel sound. Now, maybe that's getting confusing, but the point is stretching out these vowels will ensure clarity every time. We stretch it out for A with a dark L, just like we do with AU and AW digraphs, short O's, and lax A's. If they all get the same sound, you have simplified and clarified your speech. All right, now I have one final spelling with the sound for you here. These are words that come into English from French and are spelled with the letters E-N. E-N. Such as entrepreneur, entree, encore, en route, on. Now, I'll be honest with you, these aren't the most common words. But saying them clearly will really make your English stand out. Most non-native English speakers make a regular sound with these, like N, entrepreneur, entry. Now, you have something that these folks don't. You can say a crystal clear without hesitation. Let me break each of these words down for you so that you can get used to them. First, we have entrepreneur. 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 An entrepreneur is someone who finds their own way of making money, outside of the traditional means. Someone who builds a business and finds every opportunity possible to invest their money and hopefully make it into more money. Our next word is entree. 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 This is the main course in a restaurant. This one confuses Spanish speakers in particular, because there's a similar word in Spanish, entrada, for a small snack before you eat. In English, we call that the appetizer, food that you eat before you eat your dinner. Your dinner, however, is the entree, the main course of your meal. Entree. Next, we see encore. Encore. This means again in French. We use this in English to say a similar message, but mostly regarding a performance. To end a concert, for example, a band may give an encore performance. This means that they play for an extra couple of songs after their main set of songs has finished for their fans to enjoy. If you see a live play or a musical, the actors will give an encore after the show and bow to the audience to say thank you. Encore. And then one final on word is the words en route. En route. Now, these are actually two words, but they're spoken together. En route is probably one of the more common ones in this list, and it's simply to say that you are on your way somewhere. You're driving down the highway, walking to the subway station. You're en route to your destination. Entrepreneur, entree, encore, en route. All of these words have the same sound. And the sooner that you take this shortcut, the sooner that your spoken English will take on a whole new sound. So now it's clear to you. Is one of the most common vowel sounds in the American accent, and using it will work wonders for your speech. If you start now by stretching this vowel sound out, you'll soon notice that people ask you to repeat yourself less, that you feel more confident when you speak with Americans, and that you can even speak faster. Because you won't have to think so hard about which sound to make. You just go with ah. And this brings us to wrapping things up for today. The ah sound is extremely versatile. And in the last few weeks, I've been covering this sound. We talked about the short O, we talked about the lax A, and so you can imagine what's coming next. AU digraphs. AU digraphs and AW digraphs. That's what's coming up next. The ah sound that we find in la, paz, sa. I want you folks to pay extra attention to that one. Extra attention, because you know what? Even the folks who've worked with me for 6 months, a year, sometimes even more than that, will stumble on these AU and AW digraphs. Your brain sees a W or your brain sees a U, it's going to tell your lips to move. And we need to break that habit. We need to keep your lips relaxed and get a crystal clear ah. So this goes to say, folks, keep an eye out, because there is another fantastic podcast episode to come any day now, which is going to break this down for you further and help you continue to bring a new perspective to your spoken English and accent development skills. So let's briefly take a minute or two and summarize what we've covered today to see that you're set up for success with your daily life English use. The ah sound is extremely versatile. We will find this with the lax A. Words like father, far, large, party, wash, want. We will find it with the lax O. Words like bottle, gone, not, cross, often, office, possible. We hear this with the AU and AW digraphs. Auto, cot, la, pause, fry, saw. We hear this when A is followed by L, such as all, always, almost, fall, cow, towel. And finally, words adapted from the French language, spelled with E-N. Entrepreneur, entree, encore, en route. Take action on the lesson that I've given you today, and you will see a serious change in your spoken English. Have a good one, folks.